Hello everybody, this is a Lighthouse Hall of Fame film from the European server. Sebastian Potato and his WZ-131 about to move into 5th place on that list here in Sand River Assault Defense. And if you look at the orders of battle, somewhat similar to, I think, a battle we just had with maybe Winnianka, where the his team, very few mediums and TDs, almost all heavies. He has 2 mediums, and the enemy team a better mix of tanks overall. There's 2 artillery apiece and 4 lights apiece. The enemy team has 2 mediums and 4 TDs, and the rest are heavies. So while his team's relying mostly on heavy power and scout power for defense, the enemy team gets a mixed bag of tricks. Kind of suits both teams really well. Sebastian Potato's headed off towards the middle. One of only several maps where it's really smart to go to the middle in the beginning. And with more than the scouts, other tanks can move up here too. A lot of times you move to the middle, you're mincemeat. He gets initial spots. There's a WZ down in the ditch, so he's going to go there and help with him, it looks like. Guy's dead. Oh, but when Sebastian doesn't get the kill. Now there's a lot of mediums roaming around up here, a couple lights. TD's in the back to support him, so he's going to have to be careful. And note how patient he was to move forward. A lot of mistakes people make is they think in order to get good results, rack up a lot of damage, and whether you're playing to get in the Hall of Fame or not, it doesn't matter. Whether you're playing, if you're playing to do damage and get stats along with wins, one of the mistakes you make is you're too aggressive. I need to get out there and get my shots in now and get the damage before everybody takes it all. And that's the wrong attitude. Your goal needs to be, I need to pull up and take shots when it's safe for me to do it. So you wait, and when they're all focused on another tank, then you pull up and shoot them in the side. That way you don't get shots back. You keep your hit points, and as the fight keeps going on, you become one of the last tanks that has a full set of health, and you can go out and just act crazy at the end. Sometimes you don't have a choice, but when given the choice, everybody's all lit up already. It's not like you're going to add spots. And this way you get the damage, and if you get caught in a situation like this, you have the hit points to trade. And in this case, he didn't end up losing any anyway. Being frivolous early with hit points is a good way to end up saying, man, that could have been such a good mission. In the end, you end up doing it over and over and over and over until you wise up and learn to save your hit points. If nobody had been lit up there, he would have pulled up sooner and gotten spots back for his team. But since everybody was lit up, he just stayed down there until he could see everybody's gun was pointed at somebody else, and then he pulled up and got a hit. And now he's waiting for the TD with the big gun to get beyond him. Hopefully he can get around him in time. He tried to track him, and it allows him to get behind him, deliberately shooting to track the guy. As long as he stays tracked, there's no way he can traverse his gun fast enough to hurt Sebastian. So you see him shooting for the road gear, which is that gear with the teeth. The drive gear, I mean, that's the gear that actually propels the tank forward. That gear and the frontmost gear are the usually weaker spots on the track. Takes him out easily. Perma-tracking, something you need to learn to do. All that T-30 could do is sit there and cuss at him. And that's something I might add. You see him use auto aim a lot, especially when he's with his 3cm gun. If you use auto aim, you can't get that kind of result. When you're shooting for a specific spot on an enemy tank to track them, turn auto aim off and just don't hope you manage to track somebody. Deliberately shoot to the spots where you'll get a tracking hit. And that many times is the forwardmost or rearmost gear on the wheel on the tank. Weak spots. Same thing if you have to ram to do it. If you didn't have a track and you wanted to ram him to get a track, angle your tank so you don't take a direct hit and do a lot of damage and just bounce off this front corner or back corner. A lot of times you'll get tracks from doing it. It's not so much that it's a more vulnerable area to tracking, it's just that when you do that, you don't take as much damage in return because you're bouncing off the side instead of coming down abrupt halt. Just or TD and 2 RD left.
Target acquired. Penetration. They're knocked out.
And he took damage going down that little cliff, but I'm sure he's glad he did because he let him escape a arty round. Oh man, the M12 took out the 2801.
Ready to fire. Enemy armor is damaged. Enemy armor is hit. Enemy armor is destroyed.
So up and around and try to sneak up on the M12. The opt's not to go over the hill. For that reason, it's faking the dude out.
Didn't go through.
Oh man, he bounced off at M12. It's that thick rear armor that the artillery has. Game, set, match. And a Top Gun for this battle. 3,317 damage, 6 kills. 25 of 30 shooting, that's 83%. 255 assisted damage in 2 spots. 14,818 credits in the bank. Survived the fight and was awarded 2,552 XP. Got a Top Gun, Bruiser, and Fire for Effect mini medals, and that gives him a battle score. 5th place, 2,592 points of damage. And he ran to the middle right away. got an initial set of spots, then helped with the 131 down here, take him out. Anybody down in this ditch is a threat because they can keep you lit up. And you get away with spotting here because as you move up the ramp, a lot of times you have a view range advantage, and you're either doing peak of view where you're just momentarily in sight and bouncing back down to where the enemy doesn't see you until you see them first, or you can come up here and because of your view range, if you don't fire your gun, you remain undetected in spot, but somebody down in here blows that. If you're already seen before you pull up, there's a good chance you'll take incoming fire as you pop over. So you need to get rid of the people down here if you can. And then you saw extreme patience when he was sitting here. I think there was a heavy or a medium right here. Everybody was lit up, and he waited until they all focused on the guy over here. When they were all looking at him, then he pulled up and took a shot in complete safety. There was nobody left to shoot at him because they were all paying attention to the other guy. Then he had to come down and go over this way and help over on the east side of the map. And when all that settled down, it was like, hey, look, just the E25 down here in the ditch over here, and already left, and he got all 3 kills because the M12 managed to get a good shot on the 2801 as it approached him up here in the north. Very last thing, he came up here. Instead of bouncing over this hill, he figured, yep, I was still lit up when I went this way. The M12, if he's paying attention, is going to be looking this way waiting for me. So I'll just come down and come in behind him, and it worked out perfectly. The M12 was looking toward where he thought the threat was coming from, and so basically Sebastian set him up and then played him big time and came in behind him and got an easy last kill. Always try to outwit. It's outwit, outlast, outplay, all that kind of stuff. If you have an opportunity to where you're moving away from being sighted, deliberately go one way and then take advantage of that basically disinformation later on. Give the people the impression you're going to one way and then attack from the other side, because most people just take data at face value. They saw him going this way, they expected the attack to come from over here. They don't think, well, he's deliberately setting me up to think here so he can come in from here. They don't extend their thinking like that. They take everything what they see at face value, if they see it at all, and it ends up allowing you to play chess with them and getting easy kills where you have little chance of taking damage in return. So he outwits his enemy on the last one, gets a top gun, and gets the game win and gets in the Hall of Fame. From Sand River Assault Defense, Sebastian Potato. Happy hunting.